Good day, everybody. It's Pib. We're not off the gummies today. That didn't go as planned. I gotta be honest with you. We're only off the old CBD cig. This is CBD, by the way. Fun fact. Fun fact. Doesn't look like it. Everyone was asking me if I was smoking. I said no. I'm just a poser who wants to look like he smokes. But they calm you down. They really work. They really level you out. It's really weird because it's not like you're high, but it's like half of being high. It's like the relaxing part of being high. It's very strange. And you always get like Scooby snacks. Check out these granny pants I just got. Check them out. You like that? You like that? Okay. I'm sorry. But we're back. My mommy is coming over because we're going to watch anime. And don't mean to flex on all of you with mommy issues, but your boy watches anime with his mom. So that's 1 for me, 0 for you. Got him. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. It's very infuriating watching anime with me mom because she's notorious, infamous across the land, that she falls asleep every 5 minutes without fail. And so yeah, I'm fully convinced she has no idea what the fuck is going on in this show, and we've been watching it for like a year now. We're watching Full Metal Alchemist. I'm convinced she doesn't even know the difference between like Winry and Edward at this point, you know? But she's there for it. And that's all you can ask for. You know, she's like every time we watch it, she's just like Joe Biden. She doesn't know where she is or who anybody is, but so I got to recap the whole fucking show each time we watch it, and it's great, and I love it, and I want to die, but then I go, you know what? How many moms really be watching like the battle against the homunculus with alchemy and the fucking? It's like she's like the definition of like the just like the middle class, just basic like Gen X mom who's like doesn't even know who the president is. She's just like, I just want to watch TLC. I want to watch my 600-pound life. I want to eat my rice pudding, and then I want to go to bed. Like that's kind of rinse and repeat until I hop in the grave. That's my mom. It's like just if you even just very blissfully covers her eyes and ears to like anything that's actually going on in the world. She's just like, nope, I want to watch 90 Day Fiance. Okay, and then I want to like maybe bake some like some sugar cookies, some no bakes, maybe sell them at like the bingo match next week with like Stacy. Like my mom's a very simple. She's a simple woman. She's a simple woman. God bless her. But me and my buddy were talking about how that's like a lot of parents, like Gen X parents. You know, because your boy's a Zoomer. But like these Gen X parents, it's like they don't want to have anything to do with their surroundings. It's like they just want to be in the bubble, just like, let me be in my bubble. This is all I want to see. Like, I know shit's going on. I know we're ran by, corporate overlord pedophiles. Like, I get it. But fucking little people, big world is on. So the revolution's going to have to be postponed. And there's part of me that respects that. There's part of me that respects just like, keep me the fuck out of it. There's part of you that's got to respect that, but these Gen X parents, man, what can you do? What can you do? So you got my mom, who's very very simple, and then you got my dad, who's like a fucking QAnon globalist, like conspiracy, right-wing, alt-right, mad lad. And then you realize he's been trying to indoctrinate you since childhood into these beliefs. He used to have things called devotions, which is like, it's supposed to be like Bible study, right? Okay, so it'd be like, let's have a Bible study today, but then in actuality, this would happen frequently. I mean, every other day to like at least once a week, around that much time. And he'd sit us down for sometimes hours. And he'd be like, all right, time for Bible study. Open up Psalms. And he'd read like one sentence of Psalms until it would quickly divulge into Obama's the Antichrist. He's a Muslim. The globalists are trying to, the Illuminati and the globalists are trying to form the one world government and blah, 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 blah. You gotta love it. And then you look into it when you're old enough to comprehend the world, and then you're like, oh, my dad might be a little off the gummies, if you get my drift. He might be a little off the gummies. You know, I gotta love him, but I mean, his political views is like Hillary Clinton is just like a cabal of baby-eating reptilians are what's ruining the earth. And I'm going, hey, Pops, the reality is just that crazy and ludicrous and bad and evil. You're just paying attention to the not real one. You know, I'm paying attention to the reality. The reality of what's really going on is just as crazy as these conspiracy theories. They just like to play pretend, you know, and it's like, okay, that's fine. You can, you know, rant about Pizzagate over there, but I mean, there's just as much crazy shit that's actually happening. That's the crazy part. But I digress. But we're here. I don't mean to get political, but life's been a little political for me lately. And this isn't about politics. This is a comedy show at the end of the day. It's more of a ranty show for me. But I mean, I'm talking about my life. And if my life happens to be getting a little political, then I'm going to be getting a little political. But the point is, there's been a lot of commie energy around me lately. A lot of like the commie spirits and voodoo has been very palpable in the air. And, you know, I love to see it. My buddy came up to me. He goes, yeah, I'm like a communist or whatever. I'm not, if you call me that, I wouldn't be mad at that label. And I go, what? Isn't that like bad? And then I like listened to the Communist Manifesto like that week. And then ever since then, there's been tons of like commie shit approaching me. Like my uncle, who's a counselor, he's like, I had like 3 patients this week come out as like communists. And then it's like, I just talked to a couple coworkers of mine who like apparently are commies. And then I bought like a Karl Marx biography. And then the bookstore owner, he looks at the book and he goes, you know what? How about a gift? And he just hands it back to me. Like the comrades really be out here though, in the real world, you know? And we spill ash on the counter. And I get blood red mad. But it is what it is. We got to keep it moving. Sorry if I use a lot of like Chris D'Elia terminology like blood red mad. Before he was a pedophile, I was like his biggest fan. So get off of me Sorry, I have to cleanse myself of it. I apologize. But I literally saw every episode of his podcast, like every single one. So that fucking sucked. That hurt hard. I felt that one. But anywho, not to excuse him, but that one hurt me. That one hurt me. You know, think about all those people that got like no Kuda tattoos and shit and like silly goose time tattoos. It's, you know, I got a Crystalia shirt from when I saw him live, and it's like, oh fuck, I can't wear that anymore. But think about these people that got the silly goose time tats. Ugh. That was a very Crystalia thing to do too. I'm sorry, but God bless whoever. I don't know. That just sucked. Bad vibes. Why am I bringing up the bad vibes? This is my show. This is my show, damn it. And we're going to talk about Marxism. Now, I don't mean to get political. I have recently had a big political awakening where I've always been more left, but where I really shot to the furthest depths of the left. And it is what it is. Fucking just recently found out I had some comrades at work. Just had there's like a 70-year-old comrade I work with, John. He's like my favorite coworker. He's so fucking hilarious. And this isn't even in politics related. He's always talking about politics. He was a hippie he was like my age when it was like late 60s Vietnam War hippie movement was at like its peak. He was like 20, you know, probably around my age. He literally got drafted into the Vietnam War, and then the Vietnam War ended like before he could get deployed. Like, how fucking wild is that? But he's always been such a huge hippie, and he's so fucking funny. He has these wild stories. He's always talking about like just total debauchery, just drug use, women, yeah, bad bitches, cocaine, like real G shit, but he's like 70 and like has this limp. And he looks just like a boomer you would just see roaming the cities. But he's just got that like, he's got that button up shirt, those tucked in khakis with the belt, the dress shoes. I mean, he really is just your average boomer. But then you talk to him and he's just like, I snorted these lines, and then this girl with this nice fat ass and big tits just, oh, it was a great night. And I'm like in a stupor of laughter. And once again, put some respect on these old people's names. There is something about the pre-internet life that is very enticing to me. Like simpler times where we weren't like constantly having this existential black cloud of our inevitable demise hanging over our heads. That's some real Zoomer shit. Because I have always had the internet since my conception. There's just always been the internet. And it's very hard for people my age to even fathom or even conceive the reality of life before the internet. And so there's just this huge gap in worldviews between people who have grown up with limitless knowledge with the internet and people who, like, if you wanted to know something, you just had to go to a library. Isn't that like nuts? We don't really sit here and think about that, but on this show, this is what this show's for. We sit here and we think about this shit. If you wanted to really know some shit, like, you just had to be like a fucking Noam Chomsky and go like read an entire library. Like, people don't do that. Like, most people, or you just watch the 3 channels you had. Like, your worldview would be just so narrow. But it's like people our age, we were born with like a big portion of our lives being involved with the internet, aka limitless knowledge. And I feel like we know how to read and sift through the internet. It's like when I see an ad that's like big mommy milkers in your area, and it's like then my dad will see that same ad and be like, really? Where them big mommy milkers at? But it's like I see it and I'm like, fuck that. That's a virus. Later. So it's like there's just a huge, like, we know how to navigate the internet too, and we can kind of see what's fake, what's clearly fake, and kind of see what's not. We're adapted to the internet. We're adapted to this limitless knowledge. And I feel like this is going to be a major Zoomer flex on these hoes, but it's like by the time we're their age, we're going to know a lot more than they did. I mean, it's just naturally. That's not even me trying to like be like, we're the smartest. But I mean, you know, I don't know. You got to be careful what you see on the internet, but I feel like most reasonable people with like a reasonable IQ can sift through what's clearly fake news and what's not, you know? And I feel like that's just not a skill these Gen X parents have of like seeing the QAnon reptilian video by some like neckbeard with 200 subscribers, and they take that as like gospel. But it's like we can see that and say like, oh wow, this clearly ain't it. Does that make sense? I hope so, because I don't know. That just fascinates me. These are just fascinating observations that I have. And I do sort of romanticize pre-internet life as much as I do think the internet is sort of it's gonna make society's wheels turn faster, because we can't be bullshitted, because we can, once again, we've had this unlimited facts and logic libtard at our disposal. So it's very hard to fool us. We know what's kind of really going on. And so I feel like people my age are, for the most part, in unison and like, oh, we see what's really fucking going on. And so I feel like because of that, the gears are going to turn a lot faster in the progression of society because of the internet. But that being said, while that is a good thing in many respects, at the same time, what it would be like to live where you're not constantly faced with existential dread just nonstop, where you could just like go to that party and just like, oh, maybe Brad is gonna like, maybe he's gonna like ask me, and you know, like maybe like blah, 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 blah. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. Simpler times. Just the wind in your hair, driving in your Chevrolet, picking up your GF, listening to Born in the USA or whatever the fuck. I mean, simpler times. You could just hear the birds chirp. You could hear the snail slide. And it was a good time. It was a simpler time. I do miss something about that. Things are too I don't even know. Just so much information. There's just so much information. It's like constantly overwhelming. And we can see everything going on in real time because of the internet too. So it's not just like, once again, back in the day, you would watch one of the 3 channels and then the comb over like fucking like spray tan guy would just tell you everything's okay, and then you'd be like, sweet, everything's okay. Now let me go to that frat party and fucking hold up my boombox. I don't know. But now it's like we can see in real time, like the world is on fire, and we're like, oh, fuck. Well, which is why I feel like the Zoomers are the most nihilistic. And I try not to be, I've gone through nihilistic phases, but nihilism is not, don't black pill yourself. There's still hope, I feel like. If we really, I guess, unify, and there's hope in this world, okay? But yeah, I don't know. Just don't. There's a lot of nihilism in my age, and I get it. These are very intimidating issues that our generation faces. But hold out hope. Hold out hope. Don't take the black pill just yet. Right? I know it's cool to like, I don't even fucking, like, what even is anything, man? Like what even is objective truth, bro? Like, let me just, But shut the fuck up. Have you considered that? But the point is I love my coworker John because he uses like Depression era Joe Biden rhetoric to describe how he got pussy. He'll just be like, yeah, I bejangled the caboose and that monkey sure was a hoot. Where like people my age would just be like, I dapped up them cheeks or some shit. There's such a massive like language gap. Like I feel like like people that were born in the internet age, we really got like our own language. Like it's just become its own language at this point. Because we have to like totally change who we are when we talk to like anybody above the age of like 30, 35. It gets real messy. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like that's a good place to put a little bookmark in for next time, no? Yeah, some questions to ponder here. This was a highly intellectual episode, but I just got to talk about what I got to talk about. I got to talk about what I got to talk about, and that's what I had to talk about. And I love you, and I hope you spread the word of this good pod thing, this good video maker, of which I would think I am, but I digress. Spread the word, subscribe, hit the bell, yada, yada. Love you, and goodbye.